Shabbat Shalom. This time of year, I'm amazed at the dramatic transformation of the city in the space of 1 month, from about May 1st to June 1st. How suddenly the bare trees and the bare shrubbery suddenly become lushly green. It's such an amazing change that occurs here every year. Maybe we take it for granted because it's a yearly occurrence, but I'm always amazed by it. And I particularly noticed this change at our cemetery, which again goes from being very stark to being suddenly very green and lush. And it changes the experience of being there. When we're doing unveilings, that's part of the season. When we're doing funerals, that's something that goes year-round, unfortunately. But the background of these rituals changes so dramatically when everything is so green, particularly when we're standing at an open gravesite and we're surrounded by so much beauty. This was particularly true yesterday. Brilliant sunshine, blue sky, verdant trees, green grass, beautiful surroundings, and yet the contrast with the sadness of standing at an open gravesite and looking at the black earth and that hole in the ground, which is so deeply sad and disturbing. And how do you put all those contrasts together is the question. I don't think that you can do so easily, and it does take time. It's certainly much more than you can take in and process at the moment. And to integrate that experience into the fabric of your life, I think, is a matter of not just days and weeks, but probably months and maybe even years. So what can we do to aid in that process of integration, in the resolution of the mourning process? I think this is where the Kaddish prayer comes in. The Kaddish prayer is a reference to God and the greatness of God. And on one level, it makes no sense to be using that as a mourning prayer the way the tradition does prescribe, but I would say on another level it makes a great deal of sense. Because how is it that we can put together all the conflict and contrast that we experience with the death of a loved one, except through some contact or experience of God? God being the one reality that can hold all of this diversity of creation, all the extreme contrasts and conflicts and variety into one harmonious whole. More than a human being can do, certainly. But we can start to approach that when we bring to mind the greatness of God on a regular basis. Unfortunately, one recitation of the Kaddish doesn't do it, which is why it's prescribed for mourners on a daily basis. In the case of most relatives, 30 days, the Shloshim period. In the case of parents, it's prescribed for a full 11 months. So it's a practice that I recommend, actually. If you go by the book, you need a minyan to say it, but I would say, probably better to say it than not to say it. And so if you find yourself without a minyan or not being able to get to minyan, certainly feel free to say the Kaddish on your own, but of course, all the better if you can do it in the context of a minyan. That's my thought for this week. I wish you a lush and beautiful and green and warm and light-filled summer, and we'll be talking again soon, I'm sure. Shabbat Shalom.